Yo, Lulu, how you doing? Stony Baloney. All right, man. D.O.A. investigates. We're here with D.O.A. If it wasn't for those punk kids, they would have gone away with it. But we're taking down a cult, allegedly. We're exposing all the bad actors. We're going to get to the bottom of it all. We're going to start with Marisa and her origin story. Okay. We're learning. We're learning together. I haven't seen this. Well, that's what happens when you film dead people. Don't film dead people. Crazy love. You fucking weirdo. Ah. Good. I'm glad you lost your channel. Okay. So right now, thank you for being here. You know, we're slowly building. There's a lot of information. I'm teaching my chat. You guys are learning so that we can really be better. Thank you for all that went to L. Ron Hubbard's or L. Ron Lyre's page. It appears that my trolls were very upset that I was sending people over to his stream. And L. Ron Lyre said that he said everything he said 8 months ago. There's nothing more to be said. I'm not sure if L. Ron Lyre knows that there's been some whispers in the background that his wife was the one who was RAPE'd. And if people were making allegations that my wife was being SA'd, the RAPED, I think I would want to be like, no, my wife wasn't SA'd. But that's just in the background noise, okay? And that's okay. So I guess L. Ron Lyre, he didn't heart my comment, but he definitely hearted Rib Guy's comment, and D.O.A. is a fraud. And so I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that Rib Guy and them were in there trying to ward off any kind of questions about that. And hey, Miniosa. I find that interesting that they're all there trying to play to disturb the narrative. And so I like that though. Like D.O.A. loves to play. Like this is gonna be fun, right? Gonna just keep asking questions, and I see that D.O.A. got no hearts, no love for any of the subs or anything, and Rib Guy and D.O.A. is a fraud, got hearts, and I'm a little hurt, but that's okay. I like people picking teams or choosing sides, and it makes it easier. He deleted your comment to Jen DeLeon. What was your comment? Always a minion. No love. It's all right. I have unconditional love for protesters, especially protesters who are friends with Rib Guy. It happened right after you asked us to go over there. What do you call a lesbian dinosaur? Like a lot of puss. Okay. Thank you, Chi. So let's start here, and then we'll go to L. Ron Hubbard's. And I mean, if my girlfriend or my wife was being accused of being raped, I would think I would be worried about it, but that's just me. I stick up for my partners. Okay? Something that I will definitely in the future always I will never ever 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 settle for anybody who doesn't stick up with me. Yeah, so this is Marisa Sigmund's entrance story into the ex Scientology movement, all right? We're going to set a goalpost here, okay? And we're going to learn about her nephew that was burned up in a fire by Scientology, okay? So we're going to learn the origin story. We're going to set a goalpost in concrete. We're going to hear the story, and then we're going to find her telling the story again in different ways, okay? And so Marisa, oh, so he's protecting all these people. Oh, that's good. It's good to know. It's good to know all this stuff. And so Marisa was talking about my niece, that I touched my niece. I had a restraining order in West Virginia. And she's going to FO in terms of, I'm not even going to say it. She's going to face some legal consequences for that. And it's going to happen. Okay. And so let's listen to her. I haven't heard this yet. Okay. This is 2014. Okay. There's a lot of history in the old guard. That's why where Alonzo's importance is so important. Okay. He's filling us in.
And they would say, well, that's for you. You're being selfish. You're thinking of yourself. So we definitely have a weird outlook when it comes to anything that most of us would like to do, any aspirations and goals. My mother was declared a suppressive person for simply expressing her opinions on an open internet forum, and also for communicating with somebody that Scientology deems an SP. So OSA had one of their private investigators research who my mother is to find out why she is talking to this other suppressive person. And in the process of doing so, they found out that she's the mother of the ED, or executive director of the Phoenix Org, who happens to be my sister. So they declared my mother for talking to this SP and making public negative statements about Scientology. My mother refused to make amends by the church. She refused to go through this whole process of retracting her statements and promising that she'll never do this again. And so she was declared and kicked out like a piece of garbage by Scientology. And they were even nice enough to say.
So did she say that slay girl? Did she say her sister was the executive director of Phoenix, and that was a suppressive person? Did I hear that right?
Her declare notice 2 days before Christmas Eve. And she spent 30 years within the Church of Scientology, was to be her statement to be my sister. In the process of doing so, they found out that she's the mother of the ED, or executive director of the Phoenix Org, who happens to be my sister.
Okay, executive director of the Phoenix Org is her sister. Did you guys know she had a sister?
So they declared my mother for talking to this SP and making public negative statements about Scientology. My mother refused to make amends by the church. She refused to go through this whole process of retracting her statements and promising that she'll never do this again. And So she was declared and kicked out like a piece of garbage by Scientology. And they were even nice enough to send her declare notice 2 days before Christmas Eve. And she spent 30 years within the Church of Scientology just to be kicked out for who she associates with him for freedom of speech. Okay. And the whole disconnection policy, Scientology lies about that constantly. Since my mother was declared a suppressive person, my sister was ordered to disconnect from all of us. And she did so for about 3 years. She didn't have anything to do with us at all. So disconnection is real. It does happen. I don't care how much Scientology lies about this. I'm here as a witness to it. My father is a clear, which means he has attained the middle of the bridge. And he's actually a past life clear, which means he's done this before. So I always joke about past life clears and ask, if you've done this before, do you get a refund? Do you get your money back? And of course the answer is no, you don't get your money back. When you're a clear, they tell you that you're invincible, your body is irrelevant, you do not have to worry about psychosomatic illnesses such as diabetes, cancer, heart disease. You're never going to get that because you're so spiritually above everybody else that your body doesn't matter. It's just a piece of meat. It's a piece of crap. So my father went through life believing this, that he's invincible. And now that he's 60, he's realizing that's not true. He has some health issues going on. And he's having a hard time. He doesn't know how to take care of himself.
Uh-oh.
And I know that sounds strange. It sounds weird. But I think it's something that not too many people understand, I guess, unless if you've experienced it. He's having a hard time. He doesn't know how to take care of himself. And I know that sounds strange. It sounds weird, but I think it's something that not too many people understand, I guess, unless if you take care of this, that he's invincible. And now that he's 60, he's realizing that's not true. He has some health issues going on. And he's having a hard time. He doesn't know how to take care of himself. And I know that sounds strange. It sounds weird, but I think it's something that not too many people understand.
It's a weird little, I like the little hand.
And I know that sounds strange. It sounds weird, but I think it's something that not too many people understand, I guess, unless if you've experienced it. So that always gets me a little bit emotional. It's very depressing having to watch my parents figure out their lives again in their 60s after spending 30 years being brainwashed and duped by a cult. It's very hard. A big story of mine that many people may know, parents figure out their lives again in their 60s after spending 30 years being brainwashed and duped by a cult. It's very hard. A big story of mine that many people may know about is the death of my nephew. His name was Tyler Reese. He died at 9 years old, and I ultimately hold the Church of Scientology's rules and policies liable for his death. Since my sister was the executive director of the Phoenix Org, she was ordered to stay on post 15 to 16 hours a day.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm leaving. I don't like the phrase reptilian. Just kidding. Who is this? Don't mind me asking. This is Marisa Springer. I was just thinking about my grandma's rule for speaking in public. Never read when speaking in public or you're lying about it all. It's hard to wipe away fake tears. I like the second thought of this.
6 to 7 days a week, and she had 3 young children. And when you run into problems like not being able to find a babysitter, or you're having car problems, you're insulted for having problems like that. Those are WOG issues. So she was trying to save the planet and giving her life up for this, and her children were left home alone one night, and the house burnt down and caught on fire. So my oldest nephew and niece managed to...
Okay. So, okay. She is blaming Scientology for her nephew dying in a fire. Okay. Now remember this. We're setting this in stone, okay? And today will probably not be the day that we expose what her new story is, but we're setting this in stone. Okay? She got quite the reaction from everybody. First question. Why is her niece home alone? Where is her husband? Okay. So Scientology, like, have any of you guys heard this story before? I didn't know this. AZ? I didn't know this at all.
Make it out, and my nephew Tyler passed away in the house fire. And the local news media was trying to make a story about it. They wanted to know why were no parents home, who the parents were. That's usually a big story. Drownings and burnings are big stories in Phoenix. And I remember coming home to a news van wanting to speak to me. They wanted to know who my sister was, and I told the reporter that I just found out my nephew died. I don't want to speak to them at this time. I'd like a chance to mourn in privacy. Somebody contacted OSA and told them that the news media is trying to make a big story out of this. Since my sister is the ED of the org, Scientology did not want this getting out publicly. And OSA flew out quicker than shit, excuse my language, but they flew out like that. I mean, they were on the next plane, and the OSA agent, I don't know any names, they don't usually give out names, but they contacted me and said, we understand that you have spoken to the news media. What did you tell them? And I said, I didn't really talk to them. I told them I wanted to be left alone. So this OSA agent told me that I cannot speak to the news media. I cannot mention that my sister is a Scientologist and that she's running the Phoenix org. If I do so, I could put the whole Church of Scientology in jeopardy, and also the whole future of mankind if they found out about this. I was in my early...
Okay. So OSA got onto a plane and came to her house. Did she clarify that? Okay, and how did she know that OSA got onto a plane? I did not read Yolanda's blog. I did not get a chance yet. No, I didn't even know that she had finished it. Okay, so, all right, I just want to, we're just, this is the origin story. This is us concreting our stuff and I didn't get an email or anything for the link for it. So now we have her saying she's making some claims here. The claim is that OSA got onto an airplane right away. Let's see. Did she say that they called her or that they came to her house?
one night, and the house burned down and caught on fire. So my oldest nephew and niece managed to make it out, and my nephew Tyler passed away in the house fire. And the local news media was trying to make a story about it. They wanted to know why were no parents home, who the parents were. You know, it's usually a big story. Drownings and burnings are big stories in Phoenix. And I remember coming home to a news van wanting to speak to me. They wanted to know who my sister was, and I told the reporter that.
Okay. So the nephew passed away, and the official story is that the older niece and nephew got out of the house. Okay, and the other one did not. Okay, remember that. These are important details for later. Okay? Chat, you're learning. We're learning together. Okay? I already know how the story has changed. So I'm making sure we point out all the little details. You sent it to me? Okay, beautiful.
I just found out my nephew died. I don't want to speak to them at this time. I'd like a chance to mourn in privacy. Somebody contacted OSA and told them that the news media is trying to make a big story out of this. Since my sister is the ED of the org, Scientology did not want this getting out publicly. And OSA flew out quicker than shit, excuse my language, but they flew out like that. I mean, they were on the next plane, and the OSA agent, I don't know any names, they don't usually give out names, but they contacted me and said, we understand that you have spoken to the news media.
Okay. So they contacted her. So yeah, it looks like a Greek restaurant or something. It doesn't seem like a religious vibe at all. That looks like a Greek restaurant, like the back room. So the OSA agent comes out. They don't name names, and then they fly all the way out to Phoenix. Okay, why wouldn't the OSA operative just come from the Phoenix org? Maybe they're coming from LA. So my first question is, how did she know that they flew to wherever she was? Why would you get on a plane to contact her? That's a good question. So they walked up and said, hi, we're also do not talk. Contacted somehow. I took that as a phone call. And meeting type, not the building. It feels like a testimony speech. Yeah, so this is a flag down, which was like a anti-Scientology meetup, basically. Okay. I don't know. She said it was OSA, but couldn't name the agents. So, and somebody called. Okay, here's another part to the story. Somebody called them and told them that there was a news van in front of her house. Okay. Let's just get all the details here, because we're the most the elite chat. We are the most detail oriented chat. Specifics matter, the details matter. Okay, so that when we go for the later part of how the story has changed, we know all the little details that she said. So she's implying that somebody was around her house that was watching her. Okay, they were watching the house, and they decided that they were watching the house, and the second there was a news vehicle there, they contacted OSA, and then they immediately got onto an airplane, and we don't know their name. We don't know where they came from or where they went to. And so why wouldn't the OSA who was watching the news thing come, why wouldn't they just come up and ask the question? Don't make this private right away. I have to go to bed. Whatever. No, this one's staying up. Hey. Everything can't be trails, okay?
What did you tell them? I said I didn't really talk to them. I told them I wanted to be left alone. So this OSA agent told me that I cannot speak to the news media.
I want to make 2 notifications. Tree Hugger made some good observations about body language reading. Tree Hugging said that in order to get a proper read on somebody, you have to have some type of base to see how they react to questions, and then you watch them. And I agree with that, but I love watching eyes. That's like what I'm into. I watch the eyes. And there's 2 things that are going on with her eyes. One, she keeps looking. She's looking up and to the right. I always look at the eyes. There's a lot of truth in the eyes. Is this a 100% indicator of anything? Absolutely not. If you think so, then you're an idiot. Then you're not an idiot. You're just making assumptions based on, you're making you're making facts out of things that should be assumptions. Okay. So let's continue on. I just want you to notice her eyes. She keeps looking down, and she keeps looking down before she starts to tell the story, and then in between the story, she's looking up. Okay. And there's no tears. She's talking about, she talked about her father kind of having injuries, but she didn't talk about, there's no tears for this nephew who was burnt alive. I find that interesting.
I cannot mention that my sister is a Scientologist and that she's running the Phoenix Org. If I do so, I could put the whole Church of Scientology in jeopardy, and also the whole future of mankind if they found out about this. I was in my early 20s back then, so having the idea that I could be responsible for Earth's demise, I didn't want to be a part of that, so I said, I'm not going to talk to the news media, don't worry. But at the funeral service for my nephew, which from what I'm gathering from other people who had deaths, Scientology funerals, it's probably one of the strangest, freakiest experiences that you will ever have. I wrote a poem to say publicly at my nephew's funeral, just in honor of him, how much I love him, just, final goodbye. And an OSA person came up to me and said, hey, we hear that you have a poem that you would like to read out loud. We need to read this first before you can say this. And I asked why, and they said, well, we just want to make sure that you're not saying anything bad about L. Ron Hubbard, David Miscavige, or the Church of Scientology. And I said, well, that's the last thing I want to talk about. It's my nephew's funeral. I'm not going to talk about David Miscavige here. So they read it, and they gave me the thumbs up that I could read it publicly. And during the whole service, there were about 3 OSA agents. They were just walking back and forth. I mean, it's literally like the CIA, how you see them walking, on top of the White House, and, wearing their men in black uniforms. Really, really weird. And my nephew was cremated. But my side of the family, since we were considered downscat Scientologists, since my parents were not going up the bridge and spending money, we were not allowed to know where my nephew's ashes were spread. And we were completely left out of the whole process. Like, it was a huge secret. And I've heard that from other people, that it's the same thing where they just cover it up. They don't want you to know what they're doing with the body, what's happening. And so yeah, that is what happened to my nephew. And it's very disturbing, and that's around the time when it fully dawned on me just how how evil and corrupt the Church of Scientology is. Okay. So, as for me, I spent the majority of my Scientology experiences as a child and a teen since I grew up in it. I had a full-fledged Scientology upbringing. I don't have the experience of OT levels or even clear, but I've taken...
I feel like the lack of effect is from Scientology training. Family choice, you're in or out, don't cry. It's sad to not know. You need a baseline to try to guess on honesty. Overall lack of effect is alarming, unrelated to trying to lie detect. Yeah. This is sad. That is sad. Right. This is what I would bet. If she's a former caller, she's been reprogrammed. Awkward. Well, that's what Scientology does, is it teaches you to just fucking be devoid of emotion, okay? Upbringing, no OT levels. I thought all tried to get an OT level, or am I wrong? Who was the audience? This is from an anti-Scientology, this is, what's the name of it? It is, Flag Down 2014. So actually, let me jump over here. The YouTube channel, there's 17 videos. Jamie D. Wolf, a tour of Scientology in Clearwater 10 years ago. Okay, this is Arnie. Arnie is the one who shot his wife. And Marisa defended Arnie for shooting his wife. And, yeah. Who else is there? Tony Padgett. John Sweeney. Ismail Bay. John Duggan. Oh, John Duggan. Is John's the one that, John Duggan. I think John Duggan's the one who, Doug Kramer, interviewed right before he died. Was his father a celebrity? I could be wrong on that one. Russell Miller, Chris Shelton. This is 11 years ago. That one got 49,000 views. Jamie DeWolf. I'm gonna have to watch all these. Let's get back to
many courses. I've read many Scientology books. I've had tons of auditing performance.
All right, let me just say this. The story has changed, okay? I'm muffled. Sorry. Russell Miller is a lawyer. Jamie DeWolf is Elron's grandson. Is he the singer? The one who sings? All right. What was Britt's question? Who's in the comments? Oh, that's a good question. Russell Miller wrote Barefaced Messiah. Let's see who's in the comments from Marisa. At Zero Dark Tony. This is the aunt of the kids that were in the fire and the young boy's death, which the Chris Shelton now has a Scientology-themed YouTube channel, was reportedly at least partially for fault for, since he was in the leadership or the leader allegedly demanding the mom work, despite having to leave the kids home alone in order to prove one's dedication, fulfill the insane job, volunteer reps, and keep Scientology leadership and Sea Org execs content, as well as the Phoenix Scientology org stats up. But primarily, it's all done to keep people, like the mother mentioned, in a position of submission to and dependence on Scientology, and in a state of perceived powerlessness, being overworked, way underpaid, and tired, stressed out. Dungeon spoke out here in 2006. They were trying to IO and Narcon 2 changed his name to Hubbard to D.O.A when he left. Okay. Barefaced Messiah. We're going to have to read that one. She's a psychopath, no emotion. Okay. So this commenter is trying to blame Chris Shelton for the death of her niece. Okay. Jupiter dreaming 11 years ago. Disconnection is real, Marisa. I feel so bad for your family members who have devoted their story. How dare Osa hijack your grief? Fantastic speech. 7 years ago, says Jupiter. Guess what else they did? They did a fundraiser in her nephew's name, and they kept the money. Interesting. It's the only church on the planet with a cashier's booth. Thank you, Marisa, for telling us how it is for public and staff being led to a position join this organization. Bravo, Dare One, for speaking out. To Doug Xander, thank you for sharing your story, Marisa. I'm sorry for your damage from Scientology has done to your family. Patricia, 8 years ago, watching and listening to these stories are just heartbreaking. Scarlet Flames. This is a tragic story, but and only one of many. Thank you, my sweet friend. Oh, that's Dianetics. She commented a year ago. Thank you, Marisa. Thank you, Marisa. What science should really to do to save a planet from Scientologists? Bear informer, Marisa. You're awesome. Wow, the powerful story. What can outsiders do? Teach a Scientologist parishioner internet skills. How to cover your tracks and don't use your real name. Maybe a silly comment, but Marisa, you're a good public speaker. A bit nervous at first, like you didn't have much experience. How should you rate your representative support person? Glad you're out, Marisa. Interesting. They pay private investigators to stitch all members. Has Marisa gotten any counseling? She looks and sounds terribly burdened.
I've done the purification rundown twice. Joined staff. It was basically a dollar symbol within the Church of Scientology. If the Phoenix org needed more money, my parents were called to get me on course. It wasn't that anyone on staff at the org wanted to help me. I don't think they really cared if I gained anything from these courses. They just needed to get their stats up and their money level for the week. And what better way to do it than by a younger kid whose parents make decent money. But the thing is, Scientology makes it blatantly obvious that they don't care about other people's well-being. The whole time I grew up in Scientology, there's such an emphasis on helping others and saving the planet. This whole global thinking and...
No, okay, here's two things to consider. Marissa's sister lost her child. Marisa is blaming Scientology that the child is gone. He died March 2019. Okay. And she's also blaming her sister for the death of their child. Would you guys agree with that? She's blaming her sister for the death of her own child. I don't know. That's
Honestly, I can't think of one time where I was ever told to help someone. I've never seen anybody else help each other. It's very weird. You go to these events, I would watch them via satellite where David Miscavige is talking how the whole Mideast, Afghanistan and Uganda is reading Dianetics, and I'm just sitting there even as a younger person thinking I don't think this is really
Jessica, that's Africa, just so you know.
happening. It's odd how they try to trick you and make you believe that they're doing this, saving the earth, saving the planet. It's not reality. It's not what is actually going on. Whenever I would yawn, sneeze, be angry, or upset over something, I was constantly asked, what have I done lately that I do not want anyone to know about? Because they believe if you're angry or getting sick, you must have done something to create this. You're guilty of something.
So 2019, he died March of 2019. That can't be correct. There's only Kirby's mom. That can't be correct. Because this is 11 years ago. Yeah, that number is not correct. It can't be correct. It can't be correct because this video is 11 years old. Oh, John Dugan. Okay, cool. I was like, the math ain't mathing.
As a lot of you may know, it's called overts and withholds. So I had to write up my overts and withholds many times, probably from the time I was about 7 years old. And they have your life sectioned off into 8 dynamics. So I remember one time having to write up every overt and withhold I've done in my whole entire life. It took me about 3 days to write everything up. And I'm sure you've all heard about the masturbation thing in Scientology. That's considered a first dynamic withhold because it's something you're doing to yourself that you do not want anybody to know about. And I remember writing all of this up, and then my auditor was told me that she's going to show this to my parents now. And I remember begging and pleading with her that I don't care what she shows my parents, she can show them all of my other dynamics. I don't want my parents reading my first dynamic over and withholds because it's pretty freaking embarrassing for one. But yeah, it's just something I want to keep to myself. It's personal. So my parents had to read everything wrong I've done in my whole life. And then I was told afterwards that the auditor did this incorrectly, and this shouldn't have happened, period. And I was told this constantly throughout my life, that I had the wrong tech applied, my auditor didn't know what he or she was doing, I had the wrong drills performed on me. So right now, yeah, I just, it's nice to know that I was basically used as a big mental experiment on a bunch of people who have no clue what they're doing. But that's Scientology. It's a world where everybody wants to act like they are.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report.
Superior and have immense mental powers, but it's really a world full of lost and confused souls who are brainwashed. I could go on and on with stories of what it's like to grow up in this cult. We could spend several hours, but I know we're on the time limit, so it's just, it's me bringing any ounce sense of awareness to this can shed some insight for any of you, or if anybody is watching this that can gain something from this. I know I've done my job at least. It's getting a lot more public awareness thanks to people like Pete and this event. It needs to be stopped. I don't understand how it is allowed to continue by our government. It's a very destructive cult, and I hope that we're all here to see its demise. Does anybody have any questions?
I was curious, what actually happens at a Scientology funeral? Do they have a specific rite or ritual that is enacted?
Well, my sister married into a prominent Scientology family in Arizona, and the minister was the grandfather. They were all Scientologists on my nephew's side of the family. So there's this whole book by L. Ron Hubbard for births, deaths, marriages. I don't know the name of the book, but it's like a minister type scenario. And he was reading from that book. But from what I saw and from what I witnessed, the traditional ceremony, I think because my nephew.
Right? I thought the same thing. Her nephew's side of the family? Her sister? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Prominent. So, hold on. Her nephew's side of the family. That's so weird. Like, that's such a weird. Yeah. So, her sister's side of the family? How would that be different? Was the father had a different mother? That's so fucking strange. Yeah. Sounds weird. Does she mean the family sister married in? Oh gosh. Her brother-in-law? Dad's side? Yeah, it's so weird.
Died so tragically, and there was some media attention about it.
Let's hear that again.
My nephew's side of the family. So, Scientology family in Arizona, and the minister was the grandfather. They were all Scientologists on my nephew's side of the family. So there's this whole book by L. Ron Hubbard for births, deaths, marriages. I don't know the name of the book, but it's like a minister type scenario. And he was reading from that book. But from what I saw and from what I witnessed, the traditional ceremony, I think because my nephew died so tragically and there was some media attention about it, the tradition was to cover it up and pretend it never happened and not mention Scientology at all. But again, he was...
Well, why would Scientology's not involved? At all. And did you give a media statement or no?
Cremated. I think that's standard procedure. Most Scientologists want to be cremated. They don't want to be buried because it's your body and they want to just get rid of their body completely. They don't want to be stuck in the ground. That's what I've heard from most Scientologists. Yeah, and I got to experience, I don't know if, I don't think OSA shows up to every Scientology funeral, but they did for this one, and that was really strange.
Do you know the name of the actual OSA people that approached you?
No, I remember what she looked like. I mean, they all wear the same outfit. At least they didn't tell us.
Along the same lines, for a funeral, were you encouraged not to be vocal, not to cry out loud?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I forgot to mention that, but my sister was crying profusely because it was her son that died, and she had to get tons of auditing afterwards and intensives to just run it out, as they say. You have to run out all of your emotions so that you no longer have charge over the situation, mental charge. You just have to flatten it out to where you don't care. And
Well, they said that they flew, and then she said they contacted. So we don't know if it technically was a call or they contacted her by going to the house. But it sounded like the way she said it that it was a phone call, making no sense that a person was watching. The first thing is, why was there someone at her house watching her house? That's like the first like odd situation of it, right? And why that person wouldn't have come and talked to her. And let me put it this way too. I know Marisa's lying and is very deviant towards Alonzo, calling him a predator stalker. Okay, so I already have a biased opinion about her because I believe she's a fucking liar. Right. So I'm by no means devaluing anything here. But I know that she's a liar. Right? So I'm coming with a biased opinion already.
For me, I was crying, and I would hear people in the background, Scientologists that have been around for a while, and they would tell us, stop being banky. You're being briefy. You're being banky. Banky.
Banky? Look how she's smiling. I don't know. I just don't feel like this is someone who's grieving in any type of way. Well, that could be Scientology.
Yeah, it's your bank is your mind. Like and there's a part of your mind called your bank that stores negative emotions like sadness, grief, anger, jealousy. So yeah, they have some really funny terms that they use.
I do encourage not to have any emotions because my experience, I'm local here, and I've had dealings with people, and they always to me, not zombies, but they were kind of on that level. There was no humor, it was pretty flatline. Is that pretty much okay?
Yeah, I mean, you can be happy and joyous if you're getting wins from the courses you're taking.
Out in the real world, it seems like there's no laughing, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this is a whole different ballgame here. I mean, I'm like, holy cow. It is probably one of the most disturbing
She sounds like she's from Minnesota. No offense to Minnesotians.
experiences seeing this whole flag
Minnesota or like Taos, New Mexico.
compound and watching busloads of younger people.
Yeah.
It looked like a lot of them were from Latin America. So I don't know if that's Scientology's latest game is they're going to different like third world countries and recruiting kids. I saw a lot of that. That's what it looked like to me, and just very uniform. Obviously they're outfits, but I'd say a uniform code of thinking. You can tell it, and that's why now I understand why people are comparing it to North Korea because it is very.
Okay, I'm gonna jump from Marisa to Selfless real quick because there was something that was brought up to me earlier today, and I just want to get it out of my head before I forget it because I feel like it's super important. Selfless's origin story of how he took in a homeless couple, or he took in some homeless people into his house. Then they ended up in an org, locked in the Boston org, but they didn't know where they were at. So they basically Scientology basically kidnapped them. All right. They basically kidnapped them, right? Brought them into the org, and then Selfless went and saved them. No, this is just a little side note. And in that, he said that Scientology is really focusing on the most disheartened, the homeless, right? And that's not true. Scientology does not focus on the homeless at all. Scientology wants money. They want money. They don't want homeless people. Okay, they don't have money to pay for the courses. They're not upstat. So that's a very odd comment by Selfless in his origin video with Shannon of how he came about into learning about Scientology. That was so fucked up. Okay, another thought process. Not Marisa. Sorry. The able, more able. Yep. So that was not accurate at all. That makes no sense. It makes no sense that people were kidnapped and they didn't know where they were and that they were locked in and that Selfless came like a fucking hero and saved them. I don't believe it's selfish. They could want I just disagree. Red flag, maybe Melody, possibly, but I think that's a red flag. Second thought, Shannon. After the interview, I received a few emails and talked to a few people after the interview with Louis Repetto and Shannon. And the general consensus is that Shannon had way too much information for somebody who was just learning about Scientology after 2 months. That conversation with Louis was very hard to follow. And Shannon's knowledge of Scientology and some of the terms was very overwhelming. So I just want you to take that all in.
Korean life. It's very sad. And I actually have two people that are friends of my family that joined Sea Org about 10 years ago as a mother and son, and we haven't heard from them since. It's been 10 years. I don't know where they are. They're floating around here somewhere. I don't know. Your sister's still in the church? As a mother and life. It's very sad. And I actually have two people that are friends in Korea because this game is for going to different like third world countries and recruiting kids. I saw a lot of that. That's what it looked like to me, and just very uniform. You know, obviously they're outfits, but I'd say a uniform code of thinking. You can tell it, and that's why now I understand why people are comparing it to North Korea, because it is very North Korean like. It's very sad. And I actually have two people that are friends of my family that joined Sea Org about 10 years ago. A mother and son, and we haven't heard from them since. It's been 10 years. I don't know where they are. They're floating around here somewhere. I don't know. Your sister's still in the church? It's sort of a mystery as to drink and sleep Scientology. I mean, she's the epitome of somebody who's really brainwashed in it. And she's not the EV anymore. She has no part of the Phoenix Order. My understanding is because my mother was declared. Also, I think people she started associating with would be considered DBs, degraded beings, downstat people. DB stands for like a degraded being, where you're, I don't know, it could be like a drug addict or a criminal. So they have these really insulting names that they have for everything. But she won't talk about it. That is what's so weird. I'm not really close to her. I never have been. She's my half-sister. But she just acts like it never existed. She will not talk about Scientology. I think maybe because they told her to not disclose why she's no longer a part of it. So to this day, I have no idea why she's not a part of it. I don't think.
Wow, that's a lot of fucking information. Whew. Okay, that was a lot to digest. That seemed like an easy question. And then she went into explaining a bunch of terms. Red flag for me, maybe not for you. Red flag. Let's back that up. Let's make sure. So the sister who is not a Scientologist was the nephew's mother. Very over-explained. And went into explaining definitions, which just seemed weird. Okay, let me just back it up a little bit. Let's hear that again. That's going to be a little process it.
Your sister's still in the church? It's sort of a mystery as to.
Okay, is your sister in the church?
What happened? I mean, she was one of those people that would just eat, drink, and sleep Scientology.
Okay. It's kind of difficult to know.
I mean, she's the epitome of somebody who's really brainwashed.
Okay, she's telling everyone she's brainwashed. She eats and sleeps, so she's a dedicated Scientologist. She's brainwashed.
And she's not the ED anymore. She has no part of the Phoenix org.
All right, she's not the ED, executive director, or EO, executive office, and she's not part of the Phoenix org. She's defining these terms to the audience of Never Ends.
My understanding is because my mother was declared. Also, I think people she started associating with would be.
Hold on. Okay, her mother was declared. Okay.
Considered DBs.
Okay, so her mother was declared. Her friend, the people she was assorting with were DBs, degraded beings. She's not at the post. She's not at the Phoenix thing.
Degraded beings. Down-stacked people. DB stands for like a degraded being, where you're, I don't know, be like a drug addict or a criminal. So they have these really insulting names that they have for everything. But she won't talk about it. That is what's so weird. I'm not really close to her.
All right. She won't talk about it. It's kind of weird.
She's my half-sister.
And she's her half-sister, so it's her half-sister, so that means that it's from a second, either her father or mother. Okay. So what does her being a half-sister have anything to do with it?
But she just acts like it never existed. She will not talk about science.
She acts like it never happened. Okay, which that definitely could happen. Like if your child like burned up in a fire, that's definitely something that you wouldn't want to talk about.
I think maybe because they told her to not disclose why she's no longer a part of it. So to this day, I have no idea why she's not a part of it. I don't think it was voluntarily on her own. I just think that.
So she has no idea why she's not part of Scientology. Then why describe all the things that she's not at the top of the Phoenix org and not at the Phoenix org? Such a weird thing. They're told you can't talk about Scientology outside of Scientology. But if she left, then why would she hear?
Can't be a part of it anymore, just like my mother. Even though they still send my parents 20 things in the mail, part of it. I don't think it was voluntarily on her own.
So Scientology missed that? The nephew died in a fire.
I just think that she can't be a part of it anymore, just like my mother. Even though they still send my parents 20 things in the mail every week asking them to join staff. And my mom has to remind them all the time if they call. And my mom says, "You realize you're talking to an SP. I've been declared a suppressive person. Why are you calling me?" And they still keep calling, and I don't know.
Good way to end it. Like, very confusing fucking answer. Really weird to end it with some of the little easy details about Scientology being a cult. I don't know, man. That felt like a non-answer. If you were to ask me, that's a non-answer. No, excuse me. There was like 10 different answers. Like, there's so much extra into that answer. Super over-explained.
Let's see.
It was like a pyramid, it was like a third eye.
I don't remember a third eye being on the pyramid. I remember the pyramid.
referring to the Dianetics pyramid?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And they had an eye at the center, and it was real freaky, because the bride and groom was sitting there, and our priest and the clergyman, and it was on the head table, and right on top of the backstage was this big eye. It was just kind of freaky.
I don't remember the eye, but doesn't the pyramid represent ARC?
I think
Or is
so.
that the ARC?
Triangle.
But it had the eye.
Or
Infinity symbol above it.
affinity.
The infinity symbol above the triangle.
Ah.
So it looks like an eye. It's not an eye. It's a symbol.
Maybe it's the dollar symbol on it. I've never seen an eye on it. It's like a subliminal message. Okay, well.
Any more questions for Marisa?
I mean, other than telling your own story, what can us that are just outside observers try to do? And the means of exposing them for what they are?
I think since you live out here and you're so acclimated to it and it's pretty prominent, just speak out as much as you can and say that you went to this, you found out a lot more of what really happens. I think any type of awareness or bringing down any sort of structure, whether it's, I don't know, any type of cult, ideologic thinking, you have to start with public awareness and education. So educate yourself, educate others, and if you ever have any questions, reach out to any of us here. Okay, so Scientology is bad news, so honestly, it's got to be brought down. I don't know.
Okay. Let me just do, let's go to here. I want to show around liars. All right, we got him a bunch of subs today. They want you to know that one of the people involved in the allegations have claimed that your wife was one that was SA'd. Don't take the bait. D.O.A is a fraud. So yeah, that wasn't hearted. So I literally left a comment. Want you to know that one of the people involved in the allegations claimed that your wife was one who was SA'd as of last month. I can't say who said it, but it changed for Kate to your wife. Please speak up. Lou has been fair gamed. D.O.A is a fraud is in there. Don't take the bait. Talk to Pearl Snappy and talk to Laura FM, Stephen Mango, Pearl Snappy, and stuff if you want to know what Chumley is really up to. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to fill you in. That got a heart by him. Okay. As I said it already. I said it all already. Check this out. Okay. So as of last month, the allegations that your wife was the one who was SA'd as of last month. Okay? This is 4 hours ago. So he said that he answered this 8 months ago, which it's interesting that, look at the comment. Hey, want you to know that one of the people involved in the allegations has claimed that your wife was the one who was SA'd as of last month. I said it already. Check this out. I find that interesting. So Rib Guy says, Elron Robert, thank you. That's all the engagement that is needed. He is irrelevant. Ignore and block him and his minions. We all have, and all have, and the space is enjoyable again. Let's get back on point. Okay, so what's on point? Looking at abandoned houses. Interesting. Okay, that's what you're getting back on point on. Okay. Please break your silence on Louis Repetto. Nice vlog. Be warned that D.O.A. is wanting to use and abuse you by having his minions come in here harassing you. Fuzzy pink handcuffs. That was 8 days ago. Now, this is one of Ellie's shit. Cool bricks. D.O.A. sent his minions to harass you about Louis Repetto. Just ignore him and them. He's got a sick obsession with him. Maria Champion. L. Ron Hubbard. Like that. 2 replies. Denise GM Flower. More like an unhealthy obsession about Laura. She may be the next to need an RO against him. He liked that. Oh, he's going to become an enemy real quick here, huh? GM Flower, I know you have a beef with people, but step aside when the cult gets payback. And no heart on that. Please break your silence on Louis Repetto. No heart on that. Can you share what you know about what happened with Louis Repetto and Kate? Hope you well. You mentioned the hospital. The people who own the property have no interest. That was 8 days ago. Hell Gear. Will you please share your knowledge about Kate and Louis Repetto? No heart on that. Denise says, what would help this community is for Scott to mind his own damn business. Damn, they really don't like me. It's okay, man. Do you think I'm going to go away? Oh, Ron Liar's going to be my new friend. D.O.A. is going to be like, oh, L. Ron Hubbard, L. Ron Liar. Hey, supporting you from D.O.A. Oh, yeah. Juju, please speak up about Louis Repetto. It's been a while with hopes you are well and can contact Scott, D.O.A. Stay away. Jen DeLeon, stay away from D.O.A. He'll bring you down in the end. Don. Said you're back in the cult. You have a beef with Scotty and you're no match. Jen DeLeon says a future bad actor. Denise, D.O.A. is a fraud, and those are just the ones in the past month. D.O.A. is a fraud. Denise H, 100% truth. Linda says, please speak out about Louis. Would you please address the allegations against Louis? Please speak about Louis' false accusations. All right, thank you all for doing that. So, no, you know what? I'm going to stay subscribed. Do all, and we'll make sure we comment on every stream. So, that's what he said 8 months ago. Well, I'm going to go into that at another time. I don't feel like doing it right now. I don't want to do like a super long stream. But okay, I want you guys to think about if someone is accusing your wife of being raped, BJ, we should now unsubscribe. Were you in a cult, PJ? Are you signing up to 8 months ago about the month ago accusation? PJ, are you in a cult? Do you want to hey, go and send me $20, PJ, right now on Cash App. Okay. $sign Scott-Hochstetter. HOCHSTETTER. And actually, no, you said, if you wanted me to say you would have put in the comment, PJ, You should now unsubscribe. But unfortunately, you put the letters W and E, which means we. We should now unsubscribe. So which one is it? No, you. For food. Okay. Yeah, no. Actually, make it $25, PJ, for food, because it's $20 for a burger and fries, and I actually want to take Sally out to dinner tomorrow night. Make it 40 while you're at it, since you're under my spell. So. Fucking douchebag. You're actually a member, too. Yeah, no, you're not making any sense. I'm going to time you out for 24 hours. Maybe come back with a little more when you're not so tired, okay? You're making the chat. You're bringing down the chat, bud. Even though you're a member. All right, cool. We got the green light, baby. Oh, yeah. We're all charged up. Oh. All right. Well, take your Sploogapalooza somewhere else, buddy. Towards dinner with Sally. $10. Thank you. I was totally fucking joking. Please. I've made a lot of money the last couple days. Thank you. Being D.O.A is paying real well. Sorry, Hellgear. No, I'm saving. I'm putting away a little cash here, just so I have a little nest egg. And so thank you for those helping with my nest egg. I think I'm gonna get rid of the RV though. I've gone back and forth on it, but I think that's where I'm heading. 300 people looking at a black screen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone just helping with just funds. I appreciate it. None of you are required to give any funds. I just enjoy the engagement. Like, to me, like, research and like watching videos and getting me little clips is so valuable. It's actually more valuable than money, the clips and the stuff. Yeah, no, if you could carry 300 people at fucking midnight on the East Coast, you're doing semi-decent. I lost 40 people because I had a blank screen, but here we are. I'm heading back. Good night, good night, good night, good night. So, Elren Liar, we're going to really be, people are making allegations that your wife was raped, Elron Liar. And you already addressed this 8 months ago. You're just going to allow false allegations to Louis Repetto? Were you his friend? You got the restraining order? Like, there needs to be some clarification on this, man. You're friends with Kate, aren't you? Are you not friends with Kate? Like, none of this is making sense, Elron Liar. Why wouldn't you want to... Like, why wouldn't you want to, like, address it? And why would you be, like, liking all these, like, piece of shit people, man? I don't get it. Just don't get it. There's something going on. New location unlocked. Hey, that's my stuff for Streamer Wars. Oh.
Live. We are live.
Oh, looky here. Look what we got here. Fuck yeah. Here's Elron Liar. Here's Kate, the person who was allegedly raped by Louis Repetto. Okay. And Crystal. That's Louis Repetto's girlfriend. I'm not sure if they're still dating or not, but yeah, he did a short about you, D.o.A. Oh yes. Did he really? Just recently? Oh yeah. We're getting it. Hold on.
So mental asylums protect you from delusions. Meanwhile,
Not long ago. Hey Chi, are you around? No, a long time ago. Was it good or bad? You mind grabbing this one? Squad powwow. Anti St. Louis. Because I'm not gonna listen to it all right now, but
Live. We are live.
so the person in the middle who was allegedly raped by 4 times, and now allegations that his wife has been raped by Louis Repetto. Louis Repetto just raping everybody, man. Fuck.
Welcome back.
And you know what? We have video of Aaron throwing women at walls. We have no video of Louis Repetto doing anything violent to anybody.
Leaving Scientology by Louis Repetto. And next to me is St. Louis Scientology Squirrel. And next to that person is L. Ron Liar 90.
No, a long time ago, Matt was a fan. He's not anymore, but it's okay. I mean, if hey, I know how I know how it is, man. I know when, if I had a girlfriend or a wife and someone was saying that they were raped and they weren't raped, I'll tell you what, man, the very first thing I would say is, no, man, my wife wasn't raped. So, yeah, I just find it fucking odd. I find it fucking odd.
One. And next down below is Crystal Clarity. And we are all here. We are the St. Louis Squirrel Squad. And we just want to say, hey, this is us. Crystal Clarity. And we are all here. We are the St. Louis Squirrel Squad.
sorry, that's me. There we go.
All right. So what are we on? What's on the docket for today?
I don't know.
Let's all say hi.
Hello.
And this whole mask thing is weird with this Kate. I don't know, man. I just have it. I mean, here's his girlfriend. Like, did he really rape her 4 times? I don't know, y'all. I just don't fucking believe it, man, at all. It's just all. And why wouldn't, okay, let's say this. Let's say this. Say if she was raped 4 times, why is Matt not speaking up about it? Why isn't Matt being like, no, dude, Louis Repetto fucking raped Kate 4 fucking times. Is Matt okay with Kate being raped 4 times? Like, these are some fucking wild allegations, man. And the silence about it's so fucking weird.
Hello.
How
Hello.
are you guys doing?
Really good.
Good. Pretty
Great
good.
day. It's a great day to be alive.
Yeah.
How you doing, Lou?
Oh, I'm so awesome. It's so good to not be in Scientology right now. Because
Yeah.
you know what time it is? I don't know, what is it, 4:30? And I'd be probably thinking about food.
I don't know. I just, she's been allegedly raped 4 times, and now allegations that his wife was raped by him, and you're not going to say nothing?
And then going to the main mess early, because at every single table you have to have your own person, a server who sets up your table for your mess. And so I would always be that.
I mean, that's totally cool if they're swingers. I don't have any problem with people being swingers. I don't know, the whole like face being covered up and all, it's just fucking weird as fuck.
Quick and set up all the silverware, get the food and everything. But luckily, I'm just here and I just get to be like a normal person, like everyone else.
Nice. A quick question about when you had to work in the mess. Did you ever try to sneak food?
Sneak food from where?
When you were working in the mess, like setting up the what you were just talking about.
Oh, well, I set up all like the silverware and everything, and then I get the food.
Well, Holly Lewis is in there. She wrote me another long ass fucking email. Holly Lewis is convinced that I need to talk to Liz Ferris to get to the bottom of all the victims of Louis Repetto. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And she said that I'm like getting defensive that it's going to Liz Ferris. Like, Liz Ferris, like, just has nothing to fucking do with this shit. And she really just doesn't. Like, Pearl is the source of the information from Liz. Right? Like, it's fucking weird. Shit's all fucking weird. Liz is not a victim. Liz is not part of any of this Scientology anymore at all. Like, why would I contact Liz Ferris to ask questions about, like, no, Holly. That's why I think you're OSA, because you just can't deal with you. Here you are all up in the middle of this shit, too.
I think you might need a...
Yeah, and exactly, GM Flower. They were like using Liz. They were using Liz as like the scapegoat. Like when Shannon like did the thing with Aaron, Aaron's like, "Oh, we'll have Liz write a letter." Why Liz?
I think you might need to head.
It's so fucking weird. Oh, there's MD Media's in there.
So, let's talk about. Why don't you, L. Ron Lyer and St. Louis Scientologist World, can you talk to each other about the protest while I help Crystal with the headphone thing?
Sure.
All right, cool.
Sure.
So, my favorite thing about the protest in St. Louis is the costumes that you've been wearing. So,
I got.
They got me crying, laughing so hard.
I have two more. To debut, but one of them I got to work on a little bit before it can come out. Because I got to.
I'm gonna do some background checks on Kate. I ain't lying. We have Mandy with restraining orders from 2017. I'm gonna reach out to the guy who got a restraining order on Mandy and see if I could catch an interview. You have the false allegations of rape of Mandy being sued for false allegations of rape by a man in New York. I'm gonna reach out to that man in New York and see if I could catch an interview with him. You have Shannon arrested for stealing, being disbarred, drunk driving. Weird as fuck. Very questionable that she's so knowledgeable about Scientology. You have Selfless, who was in charge of saying not to question the victims. And he was charged. I don't know what happened to the charges, but he was charged with a strangulation of his wife, Karen. I'm going to reach out to Karen and see if I could get an interview with Karen. Dude, like, I'm going to fucking expose this shit. All right. You guys don't understand how determined I am to get down to the bottom of this. And the more you guys fucking stay silent, the more I'm going to dig. I'm going to dig and dig and dig. And I want to find out the information. And that's how I operate, like a fucking good investigator. All right. Totally within the purviews of the law. And so I'm curious about Kate, if Kate's had false restraining orders, arrests for narcotics, whether like meth or heroin. I'm going to reach out to I'm going to find out this information, okay? I also think I'm going to start doing some investigations into Doug Kramer and his death, starting with some filing of some FOIA requests. No, I already saw what I already see L. Ron Hubbard. I already see where he's going with liking Rib Guy and D.O.A. is a fraud and deleting a bunch of other people's comments and not liking any of the comments. People are accusing him of, people are saying that his wife was raped and within the last month, and him quoting me to an 8-month thing. So, I'm going to keep asking about it. But I'm going to investigate Kate, and I don't believe her. I think she's lying. I think it's an OSA operation. But I'm thinking about going and exploring some of the neighbors of Doug, and asking. There was a thing that someone picked up the phone, according to Doug's mod, the night that he was dead, that someone picked up the phone, and within 24 hours they had declared that it was a death by cigarettes, that he died from cigarettes within 24 hours, which is questionable to me. So I think that we need to get the police report. We need to find some information. We need to see if there was an autopsy done. And I think that's important for the Doug story. My thoughts.
Make it at least, I got to make it pretty decent of a costume. And right now it's just missing a couple little tweaks. So the other one's ready to go. So I'll probably be in that one pretty soon. The only tricky thing is I typically need another person there, sometimes even two, because it is hard to record holding a phone and holding the sign. And I really like my megaphone, so I like to have that as well. So it's hard to hold all these things.
The megaphones are really nice. They come in handy, don't they?
Yeah, and you don't have to, you really don't have to yell as loud, which is nice.
Hopefully that's better.
It sounds good over here.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome.
What about Crystal? Like, what about the allegations that her child was being molested by Pearl Snappy? What about the allegations that their child was in a sex swing and that Pearl Snappy saw that. There's so many fucking questions about this shit. It's so fucking nasty and dirty what has been done. And I'm not sure if he's involved in it, if he's involved in the debt agenting. Because I'm starting to like, I mean, your wife is literally being accused of being raped, man. It's weird as fuck, dude. Seriously.
Uh-oh, now I don't hear Lou.
What do you guys? Well, we're really we're gonna get this together, guys.
Get it together, Lou.
It's a good thing AA Ron's on right now.
Yeah, we'll get our little shit.
And in this interview, Louis Repetto is the. Did they say Mike? What's his name? Someone said Mike, I think. Elron or Louis is he's the second gen. He's like the important person in this, and like both of these two are kind of treating him that way.
Out of the way.
Yeah.
Matt.
So we're having a power. Looking forward to the next protest. When's the next event? It's the May 9th event, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
I have no idea, but that's what it's called normally. It's called the May 9th event. It's when the birth of Dianetics, the modern science of mental health. It's like a celebration day. They have an event, and they tell a bunch of lies about how it's the bestseller on every list in the world. You know.
So if we know about that ahead of time, maybe we can come up with the factual list and be like, here's the real list.
So what normally happens on this day, typically?
In the sewer? Well, first of all, there's 3 months of calling that we have to do. I had as a staff member, had to call people to get them scheduled to come.
I love that. Matt hearted the people saying that I'm trying to destroy him as I got him 100 subs, put him over the 1,000 mark. And I love that. I love that he hearted these people, said that I'm coming to destroy his channel. Can you guys make any sense of that? That doesn't make sense to me.
But on that event day, what goes on is just, it's a local event usually, meaning it's on the packed base. It's not at the Shrine Auditorium. And we simply just have like people show up. They buy either some kind of release that's being released at the time, or they just donate to the various book camp events. The book events are mostly pushed by Bridge Publications, which is run by a C word, but is
I don't know,
like
Jessica.
actual business law.
I thought Maryland might be.
And so it's
For some
mostly like
reason.
pushing books. Books make it. We have to figure out when. So that's what they're always going. And books make booms. And if you capture 5% of the book market, it will be pretty easy to clear the whole planet from there. So that's what they're always going for. But I wonder if that's the May 9th event. It's called that, right? But
Okay, Fuzzy Pink Handcuffs is a mod for L. Ron Hubbard. And they are part of the Ellie squad. Here we go with Ellie again. Right? They literally have been fucking... It's amazing how much of these people have infiltrated via the mods. It's fucking insane. It is literally insane. It's insane.
what is it? We have to figure out when the actual event is going to be.
All right, so
I wonder.
So they call it the May 9th event.
So Xenu Free, which is Matt's wife, just commented. She's the one that allegations are now that she's the one who was raped by Louis Repetto. So Louis Repetto raped the person here 4 times, and then now there's allegations that he raped her.
But then they don't actually have it on May 9th.
No, they never have it on May 9th.
That's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, that's weird.
The New Year's Eve event happens usually.
I don't know. This Kate person is just like odd. I just so many weird fucking vibes from this one man. Backed up all Doug's videos just in case I got deleted. Don't remember who though. Fuzzy been around since the beginning of LA protest. The Goldie mod blow up in SPTV? No, I don't.
2 weeks before the actual New Year's Day.
Tell them
So
the times that you were calling these people, that you weren't calling them at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
I was calling them anytime I could, and they'd pick up. We'd have lists and lists of them, and all I would do is call them. Be like, "Are you confirmed for the event?" And by that time, so many people were being called over.
Jessica's chat.
Hated being called. You know,
So are these
just,
publics you're calling?
Yeah, people who have ever
Okay.
spent any money in Scientology.
Gotcha.
Is what we're called.
Okay.
And all of those people. Pay for this address searching. We find all their addresses and try to find links between them in order to track them down to find the right numbers. We would call like tons of numbers to try to find the right person. And once you got a verified person, you got, I got a verified, ding, 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 ding. And then I wouldn't be punished that day because I would get, you have to have two verifications per slot, which is 2.5 hours.
Including Aaron's?
There she is.
Interesting, Jessica.
Yay! Yay, you made it.
Okay.
Better late than never.
This is Xenu free.
Good to see everyone. Sorry.
Good to see you.
Welcome.
You're fine.
All right, so that's Louis Rappel's victim too, allegedly.
We gotta come up with ideas.
So what do you think we could expect here in St. Louis for that event?
Same as the last event, just like a few extra cars.
So like L. Ron Hubbard's birthday party, something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Just
Okay.
the exact
So-
same thing.
So maybe like 25 to 40 people maybe. No, 240 seems too high. 25 to 30 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So-
would be triple X.
So if we all show up that day, we make a percentage of the people that's actually attending. And we show up a big inflatable.
Right. We'll be like a fourth of the whole population on site.
Those
So.
stats are gonna be rocketed when we get there.
Good for us.
So is this the big book selling event where people buy multiple books?
Goldie was Tiny's mod on very early videos. Saw that when I was having a block party. And you're having a block party? Oh, like you were blocking people?
No, but it is a book. It's about books. They want you to buy. I mean, at any event, they want you to buy tons of books. But
Is there
This
one? Is there one
I'm
in?
gonna look them up.
Is there a house of L. Ron Hubbard's that was redone in Phoenix?
I know Albuquerque. Yes, definitely Phoenix.
Okay,
Restored houses.
so
And some out ethics.
Okay, we got bonded. This person Scientology covers up rape. She said that Louis didn't do anything to her. And she protested out at the St. Louis org a few times. So we got confirmation from her on that. Oh, this is the arrest for Louis. Okay. So, find this interesting. All right. I love being D.o.A. So, Lewis has allegedly raped Kate 4 times. Okay. And now allegations that Matt's wife got raped. Okay. But guess who's still in his comment section has not been blocked? Louis Repetto. I find that fucking strange as fuck. But thank you, Louis, for giving us timestamps. 1450 to 455, school resource officer drives by. 1529, I begin to leave the area. Cross the street. 16 I see something motioning me to come to them. 1626. Okay. Freelnet says, thank you for standing up for Scientology's lies and abuse. Rika, 1 year ago, says, free Lewis. Tasha says, this is crazy. The cop is on an ego trick. Xenu Free, the victim of Louis. I have no words except squirrels are there at the police station waiting. Keep us posted, says Sue Denham. We know you, Sue. So we have I got 3% battery. So this is allegedly one of Louis Repetto's victims, is Xenu Free. Matt's wife was allegedly AR'd by Louis Repetto, and here she is saying that she's there defending Louis. There's Britt, you thirsty little motherfucker. I'd say the B word. I was gonna say thirsty bitch, but it's not nice. That would be like totally like just degrading. You thirsty though. I was saying bitch in like a real loving way. Oh my god, free him right now. MD Media says, what the fuck happened? And Britt says, Lewis was arrested for disturbing a place of worship. Sue is everywhere she is. These are streamers with good intentions. Here's Louis again. Oh, there you are, Britt. Hi. Crystal Apodaka drives away in her car. Ooh, Crystal Opodaka drives away in her car. 1025, her brother was child trafficked as well as herself. 415. Look at that shit, man. Crystal Opodaka drives away in her car. 415 as well. Okay, and so why do you have this stream still up, Matt, if this dude raped Kate 4 times? Why are you supporting a rapist, allegedly? Huh? If that's your belief, that's what you're going to do? This is absolutely bullshit. It will get dropped, but it still jams him up. Lou says thank you. Helgear. Look at Helgear. She's thirsty as fuck, too.